Hello and welcome. In this video, we are going to look at how to set status of any cause on this fishbone. By status, what we mean is what is the status of our investigation with respect to that particular cause. For example, I would like to draw your attention to this fishbone and show you the different color codes associated with some of these causes. Like for example, under web issue, we have overload issue, which is light green in color. Config issue is dark green. Again, on my network issue, DNS issue is orange, and so on. Some of these are still gray. What do these mean? So if we hover, you can notice that here it says status likely not a cause. On the other hand, for config issue, it's not a cause. For DNS issue, it's maybe a cause. So as you would have understood by now, these color codes are pegged to a particular status. The utility of this is that, let's suppose you're an incident manager and you're taking a look at it in the mid of an investigation. You don't have to pick up a phone and ask anybody what's going on, where we are in solving the problem. One look and you know where we are. Okay, so some of these causes have actually been cleared as not an issue. The others are probably not and still working on it, and they seem to have found some place which could be a problem. Light green, which is likely not a cause, and orange, which is maybe a cause, are transient states which will typically show up during the course of an investigation but won't persist by the time the investigation is over. By the time the investigation is over, we will either have a dark green, which is not a cause, or we will have a red, which is definitely a cause. So let's take a quick look at how to go about changing these status or setting the status. Let's say I want to do this for router issue and I want to actually go inside and do it for one of these causes. So let's say switch issue. All right, now I want to set the switch issue status to something. How do I do that? Well, I can click on these triple dots here and right at the top, status, and I can pick and choose something from here. Or I can do the same thing by right clicking here and it will take me here. I could even open up this cause details panel, and right here there is status and I can choose it from here. Or I can open up the cause tree, ensure that I am selecting the correct thing to select, which is switch issue, and right here I see a bar called status and I can click here. So let's come back and do it the old-fashioned way. I want to set this to not a cause. Or better still, I want to set this to maybe a cause. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to set this to maybe a cause. It will ask us if we want to add a clue. Let's skip it for now. If you want, you can add a clue, but let's skip it for now. Now, notice carefully that this has become orange, and if I hover, it says status is maybe a cause. But now notice carefully that this status has actually propagated to router issue, its immediate parent as well. And in fact, if I move up, I find that it has actually propagated to its parent network issue as well. And from here all the way up to the website crashed, which is the main node. So this is what status propagation is in smartQED. So once we set the status of an inner node, it will propagate all the way up to its immediate parent and even beyond. Of course, there are certain rules. For example, if I were to set this to maybe at fault, maybe a cause, the way we have done it here, that's a serious thing. Or definitely if I set it to a cause or contributing cause, which is red, it will propagate. If I set it to light green, which is likely not a cause, or dark green, which is definitely not a cause, it will propagate up to limits. The moment it hits a more severe category of status, it will stop there. So that's how status propagation works. So this is how we work with status, and definitely once you have set a status, doesn't mean that it's set forever. We can change it. Like for example, overload issue right now is likely not a cause. I can actually change it to not a cause. Done. So I can update the status at any point in time. Okay, so once we are, let's say, and finally, of course, I should show you a red one because that's important. If I find something is wrong somewhere, I can actually directly set it to contributing cause, and that's the most severe category, and you can see that it will propagate all the way to the head node, to the parent node. It will override the earlier status, which was maybe a cause which was less severe, so it will propagate all the way. This is how status and status propagation works. Another thing that I would like to show at this point in time is, once we are done with an investigation, we can do something which is known as locking a fishbone or marking it as locked. So here, if you click on the fishbone icon, we can do this again. If I click on the fishbone icon, I can see this lock cause analysis. It will ask for confirmation. If I confirm, what it will do is it will actually put a QED stamp on it. There you go. Done. Now I can't edit the problem in many respects. I mean, for example, here if I want to, like, let's say I want to change the status to something else, contributing cause, I won't be allowed to do that unless I unlock it. But of course I can choose to unlock it, and even without there I can just go here and say unlock, and I can unlock it if I want to make any more edits, or if I realize that something still is pending and needs to be done. So this is how status propagation and lock and unlock fishbones work in smartQED. Thank you.